What's up, guys? My name's Noah, and you are watching The Productive Producer. Today we're going to be talking about plugins that you actually need, and how to determine which new plugins that come out are actually going to fit in your arsenal. There are hundreds of YouTube videos out there telling you which plugins to buy. I have some videos like that right here on the Productive Producer channel. And they're not bad. They're informative. And you might be spending a lot of money on stuff that you don't need. So let's say you have a DAW and it has absolutely no stock plugins at all. What do you need? What's the minimum that you need to make good music? And let's say EDM, because EDM is probably the most plugin intensive genre of music. So here's the list. You need a synthesizer, and that could be a wavetable synthesizer or analog synthesizer, kind of depends on what type of music you make. You need a sampler, a parametric EQ, preferably one with mid-side capabilities, but at least a parametric EQ. A compressor, obviously, a saturation or distortion unit. This kind of just depends on, again, what style of music you're making, but most genres of music need some sort of distortion or saturation. Reverb, delay, and a limiter. That's it. You don't need anything else. Technically, you don't need anything else. I can already hear you saying, right, Ableton has all that stuff, but this new plugin, you don't understand. This new plugin is going to change the way I make music forever. It does X, Y, Z, and it does my taxes. I've been making music for over 10 years, a long time. I've spent money on plugins thinking that was gonna happen for me many times, and it didn't. It didn't fundamentally change the way I make music. No plugin I've purchased has, and a lot of those purchases I wish I didn't make. I wish I could have saved that money and put it towards something important. I don't want you guys to make those same mistakes. Plugins aren't gonna make the music for you. That's not what they're there for. They're there to help you solve problems faster. Even some of those plugins with AI-powered systems that supposedly say that they do it for you have really little practical effectiveness to them. So you want to keep that in mind before buying any plugins. Every plugin or VST is marketed to producers like us as the solution to our problems. I mean, that's marketing in general. And maybe those plugins do solve some of our problems. We got to figure out which of those problems we actually need to solve versus ones that are just sort of novel and do kind of cool things. So here's some of the questions that I'm always asking myself before I buy any plugins. First one, will it save me time? If yes, how much time will it save me? Are we talking like just 2 clicks or 20 minutes? Because that's a big difference. If you're doing something over and over again that takes 20 minutes each time you do it, if a plugin's gonna save that 20 minutes and shave it down to 5 seconds, that's value. That will help you finish music faster. So that means that would be a good purchase to make. My goal always when I buy a new plugin is have it help my workflow. I want it to expedite the process of me making more music, because the more music I make, the better I get. And same applies for all producers. Second question is there a cheaper alternative? You could buy Contact for $1,000, Omnisphere for $500, or Nexus for $250. Now, I understand that there are differences in delineations between each one, and the quality definitely degrades as you go down, but it really just depends on what the base use of that plugin is going to be for you. If you're just like, I need a good string library, you could get Nexus for $250 versus Contact for $600. But it's really just about what you need and fulfilling those needs first, and finding out if there's a cheaper alternative, something that's sold at maybe half or a quarter of the price versus this other thing. You want to sort of weigh that value and see if it's actually going to add that value back into your workflow. Number 3 is very important. Does it have a free trial? Can you test this out before you spend hundreds, maybe even close to $1,000 on something like this? If it doesn't have a free trial, I usually avoid it. And the last one is, can I achieve the same or similar results with the plugins I have right now? I know there are a lot of plugins that say, hey, we could do this, and this. Well, it might be just 3 different plugins all rolled into one, and you could just do that with the plugins that you already have. Now that you might be limited by your skill level, but I would argue that it's good to learn how to do that stuff, because then you could apply that knowledge to other aspects of your workflow and your production process. 2 examples for me are Pro Q3 and Vintage Verb. 2 examples for me are Pro Q3 and Vintage Verb by Valhalla. Both are awesome plugins. I've used them before. My producer friends have them. And when I go work at their workstation, or we go to another studio and that studio has those plugins, I have a fun time using them. But when I get back to my studio, I just don't need to buy those things. In reality, it's just not worth spending all of that money just to get the popular plugins that everybody's using, because I have other plugins that do the same thing. So after all that, if I've got to the end of that list and I'm like, okay, yep, this is something that I could really use, I don't instantly buy it. I always go to the developer's website and add that page where they're selling the plugin to my bookmarks folder that's labeled plugins to buy. I do this because I want to see if in a couple of months the excitement wears off and I kind of feel like, oh, maybe I don't need that anymore, or maybe it goes on sale. And that's a big reason for waiting too. Every Black Friday, there's going to be a bunch of plugins on sale, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to get them all. If you've already got a list of plugins that you've accumulated throughout the year that you can go and look at when it's Black Friday or Cyber Monday and there's all of those plugins on sale, you're already focused on what you need. You just go, oh yeah, I need that. Let's buy that. Cool. And then you could save a bunch of money. I've spent a lot of money on plugins over the years, and I could have spent a lot more because I usually buy all my plugins on Black Friday or if there's some sort of sale, because I don't need to spend all that money, right then. I don't ever feel the need to buy this plugin right now. I mean, unless it's a good deal and it's really going to impact the way I make music. Bonus tip for finding the best plugins to buy is hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Lastly, I really appreciate you guys watching. You guys watching all the way to the end. It means a lot to me. I make these videos for you guys. I really hope they're helping you. And if there's anything that you guys want to see, leave it down in the comments. I would love to help you guys out with whatever you guys want to learn. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next Friday. 'Cause I've been busy.